Did you include the picture that was as the thumbnail?
Yes.
Nice.
Of course I did. 100% I did. Yeah, I had to change the camera position because for this class I'm taking, I have to take exams with the camera so it can see my face and my workspace and all this nonsense. So the camera's weird.
Yeah. A little bit kind of.
Did
like
I tell you what happened
camera.
with?
What?
Did I tell you what happened with the girl that made me feel old, like older than before, John?
No, but can imagine.
Well, it was the girl that was filming the fight on Friday.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to her on Sunday. Danny, I told Tom this, and I told Danny because it hurt my soul. First she tells me
this is pretty great.
She tells me we were talking about how to play video games, and she tells me she played Civ, but then thought it was too cringe.
Okay.
The second one
I already hate her. But continue.
Thing. But second one was telling me how she used to play Dota when she was 12.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That hurt my heart.
Okay. Boy.
I must admit, her video skills were on point.
Boy, I don't know about any of this.
There on it.
She was on it.
Yeah.
While Danny was screaming World Star the whole time.
Oh,
What's funny to me too is that comment made even me feel old because I played Dota 2 the second it came out when I was in 22 or 23. That's still like a decade ago, and I'm just like, God.
Yeah, you weren't 40 when that came out, Tom.
It's true.
Yeah,
you were not.
You being old is a trope. Get over it. I'm starting to go through
know.
this feeling of being old. Pay attention to my needs.
Now you can join me on that journey, especially as your kids get older.
That's already, I'm starting to feel some of that recently.
Luckily, I have Danny and John here to remember to teach us the slang.
Yeah.
That I tell my wife about and make her feel old.
It's like, for example, it's like, I don't know what skibbity toilet is, and at this point, I'm afraid to ask, but I also refuse to ask.
That's fair.
I refuse to it's like, I kind of know a lot of the other slang and popular kid stuff going on these days, but I kind of am like, no, I choose not to know what that is, and I'm okay with that.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
And I've been watching this cartoon my daughter saw on YouTube, but now it's on Amazon, called Has Been Hotel.
Oh yeah.
How is it?
What?
Isn't it like a musical?
Yeah, I like it. It's very adult themed, but I feel the jokes are still funny. It has the guy who voices the president on Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's the only voice I recognize.
Keith David.
Is that?
Yeah, that's Keith David. It's Keith David.
Yeah.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
I think it's funny, but
I'll have to check it out. It's been on my to-do list.
Yeah, it's gone through several iterations too, because it was like a comic, it was a different show, and then Amazon's show is also different again, but kind of the same.
Yes, because my daughter showed me the original YouTube version, YouTube cartoon, and my daughter's my only other connection to the youth.
To the youth.
But now she's starting to get older, so I don't know how long that's going to last.
The only one that I have very little knowledge about that I kind of it's on my to watch list, but I haven't seen it, and there's only one episode out, is the Amazing Digital Circus, that one that released and got huge within the last like month or two. It's got that character who you maybe seen in meme where it's like she's like the jester girl and her eyes are like super wide, like what is going on. She's been a meme recently. No? Okay. Well, now I feel young again.
There you go. Problem solved.
Glad to help out.
There you go. You also probably look younger than all of us when you shave.
I do, which is why I'm growing my beard out again.
It's fair. Totally fair. Do you want to start?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFG Radio. Starting a little late, but we're all here. The gang's all here.
Gangs.
Tonight we have, of course,
here.
John on the Wheels of Steel.
Yeah. I have Necrons behind me, by the way. Do you see them?
Excited but do you have
Next
a
to
monitor?
that blue Xbox controller, there's boxes of Necrons.
Do you have a monolith, John?
What is it? 40 wraiths?
We also
No,
have
it's
Danny.
20 Lichguard.
Hey.
Danny's on tonight.
Yeah.
Danny, what are you painting?
I'm not painting. I'm building Pegasus Knights.
Nice.
What are you building?
Pegasus Knights for
What are
the
they?
old world. Pegasus
Knights?
Knights. Yeah, for the old world.
Oh, Pegasus Knights. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say Pegasus
I wouldn't
Knights?
know. I don't have my stuff yet.
Well, you
Yeah, he said Pegasus Knights.
You didn't want
could
to-
have come and gotten them. You could have. Danny got his.
I already switched armies.
Jesus
I already
Christ,
switched
dude.
armies.
You have a problem.
The what? Oh, that's right. You're doing.
We'll
Empire.
explain that when we get to that segment. There's a reason for
Okay.
that.
I get your Tomb
Oh
Kings.
boy.
I get to play your Tomb Kings if I paint them.
Okay, I don't care. You can go pick them up from John right now. As you can hear, there's Tom. 2 in a row for Tom. Batting 1,000.
Yep. Gotta set the average
So-
high before I let it steeply decline.
Yeah, you gotta get that up there.
True.
So all 3 out of 4 of us. One is not like the other, with 3 of us going to LVO. Danny, John, and I were there this past weekend to judge the LVO champs. If in case you haven't seen all the memes, it was won by Matt Laura and his Necrons. Well, it was won by Matt Laura, his Monolith, and boxcars and rolling boxcars. That's what it was won with. So
Only in Vegas.
this year was a little different, where we added an official the shadow round was made official, basically with a top 16 cut, and then Sunday was the normal top 8 up to the champs. I know John got there a day early. Danny and I rolled in on Thursday. We were there for the preview. Quick thoughts on the preview? Overall thoughts?
Crew.
Yeah. Underwhelming.
I-
Underwhelming as is historically accurate for LVO.
Okay, first of all,
Last year's
you
was
can-
good with the
you-
Fulgrim reveal.
John, you
The
okay,
Fulgrim
you got to be
for
solid.
30K? Are we... What? Fulgrim for a game people don't play. There's the largest tournament at LVO was Warhammer 40K Championships, and they revealed a model that cannot be used for it.
Yes.
Yes?
Still look cool though.
No.
So real quick, Kill Team, they looked at the new Mandrakes.
I don't know why we're talking about a game that's dead.
For Kill Team
they're cool.
or for 30K?
Kill Team. Or both.
No,
whatever.
I met 2 nice Canadians on my flight back home who were also in the airport, and I noticed their wristbands.
Dead
And
on
nice,
arrival.
lovely chat, and they were there for Kill Team. And they,
Yeah, Kill
said
Team was the
Dakota is
largest in
awesome.
the world.
Which one of them won? Since it was a tournament of 2.
Yeah, hater, man.
Damn. I thought you were gonna
Gatorade
go
is
with
strong.
the sometimes they do memorial bracelets for the dead kind of thing, but that works too, I guess.
Jesus. Don't feed John. Don't feed John. They had some stuff for Warcry. We don't care. Nobody cares. Except
Hey,
for
that Stone Temple model ruin looked pretty cool to me. I thought that was dope.
Stone
that old
Temple
one
what?
statue.
the Pyre and Flood.
Well, I mean,
Which
the
Stone
war
Temple?
bands I don't care as much about. I actually really like the scenery. I was like,
Oh, you're talking
that's
about
a
the
pretty-
terrain. The terrain.
The terrain, yeah, it's like,
Oh,
here's
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
old ancient Aztec looking ruin thing, and I was like, that looks really cool.
Then there was this one should excite Tom. So Kroot were revealed.
Yeah.
New sculpts for Kroot. What was the Kroot Hound was there. The new Shaper. The new what were they called?
So they have a war. They have a war. Yeah, they have a War Shaper, a Flesh Shaper. They also had Krutox Rampager and a Krutox Rider, except basically resculpted.
Yeah.
And then they had new sculpts for the Kroot Carnivores themselves.
The Rampagers look pretty cool.
I mean, it all looks great, and unfortunately,
apparently there's more.
Going off my track record, so when the SM release happened, back at the start of, what was it, 9th or 8th, with Necrons and Space Marines, I got 2 of those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
The Votann release, I ended up getting 3 of those boxes.
Yep.
So I think I'm supposed to get 4 Kroot boxes.
You're welcome. No, don't get 4.
No.
Okay. I was worried you were being serious for a minute.
I know, right? No,
I mean,
if I were to
1 or 2 for sure, but 4?
Yeah,
well,
I could see
I think each one's going to come with the codex.
Right, that's the problem. I need to find someone who just wants a codex and the Kroot characters and doesn't care about anything else. Because I'm keeping the rest of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's actually, and I'm a tangent for a second here. I'm going to tangent for a second. My current Tau list I really, really, really like, but one of the big problems with it right now is that there's this big chunk of points that's filled up by double riptides, sometimes triple riptides, and it feels like sometimes that really works for me and sometimes it doesn't. So now you're telling me there's all these new Kroot models that are coming out that are probably going to be pretty dirt cheap compared to the rest of the mecha suit army. Probably gonna fill that little hole in my heart and in my list with Kroot.
I would imagine.
Yeah. So tangent over.
And I think they already said you can build a all Kroot army.
There's going to be an all Kroot detachment.
It's good. I don't know.
And from what I understand, this is not even all of the new Kroot models. There are more Kroot models coming, which is also like a you gotta be shitting me moment. That's when I was done buying models. Pull me back in.
So they also came out. Danny, your thoughts on the Kroot before we move on?
I mean, I doubt they'll be good, but they should be cool looking. So that's something, right?
They're not going to be as good as was it 4th edition, 3rd edition, where they had their army with the different types of Kroot.
That was a cool army.
That
was definitely the most fun to play against as a non. If you're playing Tau, was playing against the Kroot army. Not this stupid shooting crap.
So, Age of Sigmar got a new book preview for the Dawnbringers Crusade, as well as a new model, along with a Quentin Tarantino level of foot fetish, apparently.
Nice.
Because they really like those feet. So, I'm assuming it's good. I don't know. Danny would know more than any of us.
It looks cool. It's a new Daughters of Cain model they haven't gotten to.
Yeah, they're cool. Daughters of Cain that don't follow what's her name, right?
Yeah, Marathi. They're like a new subset, or like a new sub-faction, I guess. So we'll see. I think a lot of people are hoping it would be Malekith back, the Dark Elf leader, and like the Shadow Elves. I think that's what people have been really waiting for. That they've teased in a lot of different ways, but we've yet to see any like real sign of them, But we'll see. Maybe it's a start.
And then they continue with the Sigmar with the 2 the Witch Hunter models? It's
from the animation. So if you watch if you watch Warhammer Plus, they have like a couple. I think they have at least one of their shorts that's about those 2 characters basically finding like a little vampire den in the city and having to clear it out.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite Hammer and Bolters that they released. It was a really good one.
Yeah, it's Yeah, it's really. I mean, I think in general the Hammer and Bolter stuff, the Age of Sigmar stuff is just better than on average.
Oh,
The
yeah.
40k stuff is just more compelling, way more interesting. Like the Black Talon series is really cool.
Oh, I love Black Talon. Black Talon's great.
Yeah.
The only
And then the
40k.
Hamlin.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the Hamlin Bear Eater is probably the best Hammer and Bolter there is, about the Stormcast who tricks the Orc War boss.
That one is so good. I love that episode. Honestly, the only thing that holds a candle to it, Interrogator's pretty good, but it kind of gets tropey, and it's like you see where it's going. The best 40k one that they've done by far is Pariah Nexus, with a shout out to.
Which is Shaman Space Marines.
It's so good.
The Shaman Space Marines, best Space
I'm gonna
Marines.
have to disagree with you there. The best 40k one is Cadia Stands.
Cadia Stance is pretty good.
Oh,
Well, that's
yeah,
as
yeah.
a single standalone.
Cadia is lame.
It's true.
Cadia fell.
Although
It's
there
all
is,
Shovel
there's
Krieg
a-
all the time from now on. No more Cadia.
The one with the one they did, I forget the name, with the Dark Eldar and the Iron Warriors. That one
was
is
good.
really good. So, but that's like third to Cadia Stance. And the Eldar one, where they find the fallen craft world, the one that's like, hey, we're gonna emotionally gut punch you for a second here. That one was good. I didn't know they got the writer from Up.
That's a good one. That was a good reference. I like that.
Oh my god. The last preview, then there was an announcement, was the plastic solar auxilia technically for Horus Heresy, but I can see a lot of people, by a lot of people I mean me, using it
And me.
to build a 40k Imperial Guard army. So I already have people asking me if I would allow it for 40k.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm building an army, so I guess yes.
Oh God, you caved. You caved.
They even have a plastic Malkador. All good. So I'll add it to the never-ending list of other armies that I'm building, both big and small, big and tiny. Tanks look cool. I normally build Leman Russes without the sponsons, so the fact that they don't come with sponsons in the Horus Heresy actually works out for me. So, and the squads come in. I think the box is going to come with a 20-man squad, so that's already 2 squads of guard. Oh wait, you can make a 20-man guard squad. Oh yeah, there you go. See, easy peasy. Once again, GW does it again by making models that nobody will buy for the game it's supposed to be played for. So, congrats. So I'm pretty sure they'll be out of stock at a store near you. I mean, that was cool. Like John said, it was as exciting as previous previews, but you know they can't all hit it out of the park. So at the very tail end of the preview, they also announced that Games Workshop is taking over the ITC. In the Warhammer community article, they mentioned that for now nothing's going to change, but they did mention a few things they might do, such as tweaking the formula for scoring, and the part I found odd was that they're gonna tweak the formula for the scoring depending on what region of the world you're in. And the idea is to make places that have less tournaments or opportunities to earn ITC points weigh a little more heavier than places that are like inundated with events. So I don't know how they're going to do that, and I don't know if that's going to mean people are going to flock to other areas of the world or the country because they would get higher ITC points. So we'll see how that goes as the year moves forward, and we'll see what changes they make. John, your thoughts?
You'll know in 3 years. And by the time 3 years has gone by, nobody will care. There's a certain something that's been proven that if you just wait long enough, it's not a big deal. So,
But John, I have to make clickbait for the clickbait guy.
make all the clickbait you want. Like all the people making the fucking clickbait about the championship match, about the monolith, which wasn't even a big deal. Oh, we're gonna make a clickbait. You can't deep strike the monolith on turn 1. He didn't do it on turn 1.
Apparently he did.
Well, whatever.
From what
Even
I
if he
know.
did, he still can because it's
But
literally
even
in
if
the rules.
he did, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, you just show
You're
people
allowed
the
to do
packet,
that.
the little pamphlet, and you highlight it. There's like it's going around the internet. You can find it easily by googling, "Hey, can I do this?" And then there's literally the packet from the Leviathan. What's it called? Match play, whatever, and it's literally highlighted.
Pamphlet.
It's
Oh,
literally highlighted. People either can't read, or people don't have access to the little pamphlet, which is a problem in and of itself.
I'm
Or,
gonna go with the little column A.
as
little
usual,
column
people on the internet don't know what they're talking about.
B. That's
People
column
on the
C.
internet always know what they
Little that
talk
too.
about. Otherwise, why would you talk?
I'm currently on the internet. I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Danny, your thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be overall fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I mean, really, it comes down to they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything super drastic anytime soon. But I do think there's, I don't think it would be unreasonable to be worried that maybe, maybe something, so all of a sudden to get ITC points, your event has to have certain standards, right? Like maybe
Right.
a limit on 3D printed models or, whatever. But, right now we'll see if it just, honestly, it depends. If they're going to do the stuff they need to do to actually make the game work, then great. If they're not, or make ITC work, if they're not going to do it, then it's kind of going to be meaningless. I mean, there's also already a bunch of other systems, like ELO rankings from like Goonhammer and, stuff like that. So we'll see if it actually even means anything at a certain point. I don't know if it will, honestly. I just think it's,
Right.
there's no, they can say they own ITC, but there's no indication of what they're going to do with it. Right?
Yeah,
So.
they're just getting vague. Like, here's what we think about what we're going to do, but it has nothing. I mean, until it's actually done, it's all, promises. Tom, as someone who wasn't around when they initially announced it, what were your thoughts?
It's strange because for me, like, I haven't been concerned with my own particular ITC score for a while. That said, I mean, people do care about it, and it is a thing. I hope that however it is run is at least run to the same standard it was before. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to wrap my mind around like what they would do to really change things without like making it a whole other scoring system or ways they would make it better. I could probably think of ways they'd make it worse, but I mean, I guess it's kind of just we'll see what happens kind of deal. Be cool if it was easier maybe to like access your score or see scores globally or things like that.
Right.
Some kind of more online portal presence.
Yeah, I'm kind of with John on this one. Well, in that initially, we won't really know what's going to happen to it for a while because I think they'll keep it because it's going to run, as far as we know anyway, concurrent with the World Championship of Warhammer series and for GW and as far as I know, we don't even have the dates for their next events for the year. So I don't know if they're going to incorporate it into that or if it's still going to be something separate or what they plan on doing. So I think I don't even know if they know, to be honest. they may be trying a way to figure out and to combine all that stuff. But we'll have to wait and see. So, like normally in the past, there used to be about a month in between seasons for ITC. Well, at least when we helped with it, we would kind of like figure things out and what we need to change or improve, especially in terms of the missions and things like that. So, hopefully they take this time to do that and see what they come up with. But I'm looking forward to it. In addition, everyone's waiting with bated breath for the balanced data slate. We did get for those that didn't notice, we did get the Necron FAQ literally the day before, 2 days before lists were due. So that caused a bit of a commotion for some players. I say some, not all. With the with the irony of Necrons winning LVO. So I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
There are many complaints,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Necrons was the most represented faction at LVO, I believe.
Really?
I think so. Or there was still a lot of Necron players, a high percentage. I know that. So on to the event. So Thursday was the preview, kind of the meet and greet. We all got together. We had our team drinking party while I had to go to a meeting. And then luckily the meeting was short. Friday was the first rounds. As mentioned before, both on Signals from the Front Line, and we mentioned a few times, we put out a QR code that lets you text the judges to alert us when someone needs to go to a table, and the QR codes were on the table numbers. So you just had to scan the QR code that was on the table number, sent a message to our dispatcher, which was my brother, and then over the radio he would let everybody know what table needed a judge. As far as I can tell, it seemed to go very well, and people seemed to like it. I don't think we had any real issues in regards to that. I know towards the end of day 2, having that earpiece for 2 days was I think most of us stopped using it and just relied on the radios themselves. But I think at that point, everything kind of settled down except for the top tables, as always. So it wasn't that big of a deal. And we didn't need them at all on Sunday. I think the stream went fairly well, as far as I can tell, anyway. But John and Danny, either one of you, your thoughts on the radios? Because I know, John, you actually had a radio.
Yeah, I think they worked great. The earpiece got annoying because it just started to bother my ear after a while, but
yeah,
they worked great because you're dispatching people, and you didn't give them to every judge. 6 people had them, which is perfect because then all the other judges could walk, right? And so we didn't have a situation where all 14 of us were going to the same table at once. That would have been terrible, right? So you have a certain amount that can be dispatched to a table, which is awesome. You give them to the people who are used to walking all over the place all the time. They're out there. And then the other judges are available for anybody yelling out and to also just continue to walk. So at most you only ever have maybe 2 judges converging on a table at once because of the earpiece. So that was pretty great. Yeah, I like that.
Or if someone with an earpiece and another person that just happened to be walking by, that happened a lot.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least happened with me whenever I would walk.
Yep.
I would stop. They would flag me down, but then another one with a radio would come by.
Yep.
But it seemed, like I said, it seemed to be okay. I didn't hear a lot of people yell out "judge."
Yeah, it did happen.
I noticed that. It did, but it didn't happen.
A lot of
in
the old
past,
school dudes did it. Old school players. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm laying down? So, yeah.
The Grim After Dark show not made fun, but wondered if we did it just to keep up with the youths. because they don't know how to yell out.
I mean,
for a
they're not
judge.
entirely wrong. Not
And
entirely
that,
wrong.
next year we should have scooters,
No,
which I'm not opposed to.
refuse.
Come on, a scooter with a little siren, little lights.
God,
No?
I hate you so
No
much
fun.
right now.
But
So much. I hate you so much.
or segways. We could be like the mall cops.
You are just like one of the worst people I
Segways
know.
would be cool.
Just like one of the worst people I know.
So it's settled then. John gets a Segway for next LVO.
Bro.
As always, there's always a few issue with players. We had
I didn't have any problem.
we
Everybody
did
was
have
delightful.
Weirdest interaction I've ever fucking had in the years.
Really?
Years of doing this.
Was
Literally
it Sunday?
Thousands. No, Monday or Friday.
no, it was
Friday.
How did I not
Friday
hear
or
about this?
This is
Saturday?
Friday. It was
Oh,
round
Friday!
Five.
I forgot about that. Oh my
How do
god!
you forget? It was
Yes.
5 minutes into round one, so it's literally 5
Listen,
minutes
I had
into
to
round one.
talk to a lot of people over.
I don't
the
remember
weekend.
this. What was this?
Oh yes, you do.
I
So
remember
you'll
it
remember
now.
very
Okay,
quickly.
you keep telling it and I'll listen.
You'll
So,
remember, yes.
It's 5 minutes into
It's
round
the quickest
one.
we gave a yellow.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
a guy comes up to
Okay,
me.
yeah.
And, I was like, oh, man, what's up? He's like, I don't even know how to describe what is happening. And I was like, uh-oh. And he's like, my opponent won't engage with me at all. He won't get up. He won't measure. He won't really do anything. So I'm not sure what to do. And I was just like, okay. So I go, walk over with him, like, hey, guys, what's up? What seems to be the problem? And, guy's like, well, we're trying to place terrain, but he won't measure. And the guy, I was like, I was like, what do you mean you won't measure? And he's like, I don't have to. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have to measure? And he's like, well, because we just put it wherever, and if it comes up later, we'll actually measure it out when it matters. I was like, but that's not how the game is played. Like right now, your centerpiece is too far forward, and I measured it out. I'm like, it's like a good 5 inches over the center line. And I was like, so we need to push this back here if you want it over here. It's like, so when you're putting down terrain, you need to measure where it can go. You can't just eyeball it for it to be legal. He's like, well, I don't have to do that at all. And his opponent's like, well, I asked him if he could measure out his deployment zone, and he's like, well, I don't have to do that. Where does it say in the rules I have to measure my deployment zone out? Where does it say I have to mark it? And I'm like, okay, that's fair. That's nowhere in the core rule book that you need to actually physically mark your deployment zone when you're
My friend,
deploying.
don't
But
be a jerk.
yeah,
But
and,
there is a deployment zone that you have to fall in, and that has to be bound within the laws of math,
Right.
at the very least.
Yeah, and his whole thing was he was like, well, this gives information to him that I don't need to give him. I'm like, well, it's an open information game, so you can't hide things like that. And I was like, also, man, there's just a common sense of decency and sportsmanship of if your opponent asks you to do something that really is a kind of common moray, it's really not an issue to do it, is it? And he was just like, well, I disagree. And I was like, I need you to measure where your objectives go. I need you to measure your terrain placement, and if you're deploying models, then you're going to need to measure in front of your opponent that they're legally within your deployment zone if you're not going to mark your deployment zone. And he's like, well, I disagree. And I'm like, you are more than welcome to disagree, but as a judge of this event, I'm telling you this is what you are going to do if you want to continue playing in the event. And he's like, well, I disagree. And I was just like, okay, well, reset.
Well, sure, bro.
Let's everyone calm down. Let's, why don't you guys just play? Let's just start from zero. Let's just play a game. It's round one. We're 10 minutes into it. Let's just have a good time,
minutes.
okay?
10
And
minutes
he's like,
in a row,
I disagree. And I was like, okay, well, I'm giving you a yellow card in a violation of the, code of conduct because you are not being sportsmanlike here at all. And if I have to come back, and you'll get another yellow card, and that equals a red card, which means a disqualification from this game, if not disqualification from the event.
Was
And
the
he was
guy's
just like,
name Michael Snyder?
No.
Can you show
He's
me
just like,
where in
well,
the
I
rules it says I can't deploy my landing pad on its side?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I disagree. And so it became this whole thing. We had to watch him like a hawk. Obviously we don't want to necessarily kick someone out at the very first. He apparently has a little bit of a reputation for doing this.
Who's this
Found
we
some
that
of
doesn't
his
want to kick people out?
Well, people above my
It's the
pay
royal
grade.
we.
You and the mouse in your pocket?
Anyway. Yep.
His name is Boo.
Yeah. So I had one of his friends at the event, or someone who, I don't know if this dude even has friends. He does not seem like he does. I mean, no one is that miserable. And like having a fulfilling life. But I had an associate of his, basically tell him, like, dude, either stop this behavior or leave. And so he dropped from the event, and apparently demanded an apology from me as well. Although, God, be a cold day in hell before that.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. He apparently was looking this.
I would like the judge to apologize for being correct.
I'm pretty sure the guy, if not having any psychological or neurodivergent issues, I mean, also he could have just been high out of his mind. He didn't smell like booze, but like he was not. Didn't seem like he was totally processing everything. Because I know he was demanding an apology, but he literally at one point later in the day stumbled back into the hall and like looked right at me and walked right by me and didn't say shit. So I'm like, well, okay.
I am very aghast at this moment.
Like I said, this is, having done this for so long, was easily the weirdest fucking thing of like, of all the hills to die on, man, this is what you choose?
Yeah, placing your hill, that was the hill you died on.
It reminds me of the old days of 40K, when like, yeah, literally you'd be like, I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Well, when you didn't have to show your list.
Yeah. I
Remember in
have to show my
fantasy
list.
when you
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have to, you didn't have to tell someone what magic
Yeah.
items your
Yeah.
champion
How
had.
many dispel scrolls you had?
Yeah.
Like that was always Travis's psychological deep tech of he'd have like a big bag of peanut M&Ms and be like, oh hey, I use these M&Ms to keep track of my dispel scrolls, so when I use one I just eat one. Would you like some? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then he's like, oh okay, they got 4 dispel scrolls. Good to know.
Yeah. The other one I always liked was because the lists were hidden. He would do like, he would paint up, or somebody, I don't know if it's Travis or not, but they would paint up like a unit of Chaos Knights. Super nice, right? Super nice. And they're like, okay, well, those are your chosen knights. And they wouldn't be. He'd charge in it. They'd charge and be like, oh, yeah, those are just Chaos Knights. Those aren't like your super chosen? No. That's the dudes over there that are 3 color minimum.
Yeah.
You know? It reminds me of that, like that mindset of, I don't have to do this thing that you're telling me I have to do. Because where is it in the rules?
Anyway, weirdest fucking interaction possible.
Are you sure he's
Especially
not
5
related
minutes
to
into
Michael
day
Snyder?
one. He might be. I don't
He is
know.
Like a
not.
cousin?
I know who it is. And that's a story for another time.
Like an uncle.
But
In spirit,
no,
maybe.
he is not. There's no.
It
you
is
would never
Michael
think
Snyder's
he's
Yoda.
related to Mike Snyder.
Or he's Luke Skywalker to Michael Snyder's Yoda.
No, that could also be true.
Probably the other way around. So that was 10 minutes into round 1. I forgot about that.
Amazing.
What else happened? The day when,
It
well,
was pretty easy.
from my perspective, and it might be a little skewed because this year I felt like I did even less walking than I normally do in previous years. I did a lot more admin work
Seems true.
this year than I did in the past years.
Huh. When I was head judge, I still got all kinds of walking in.
That's because you had Jason Horn.
What?
So we didn't have Jason. So I
I
had.
feel like that's racist.
I was just
No.
appreciating
Well,
Jason, all the admin
yeah.
work he would do.
Nope. I'm
there's
going to
more
keep with my
appreciation at
narrative.
There's more appreciation of Jason at the end of the weekend, but that's a whole other story too.
Oh, boy.
So from my perspective, except for that first round, it seemed to go okay. I think we had an issue in the second or third round. I think it was the second round, where apparently a pair of players were separated. We're so passionate. That's my new word for people that get crazy. It's just that they're passionate for the game. Much like soccer hooligans are passionate for the game.
Please don't do this.
I just saw that visible sigh from John.
Don't make that a thing.
John, stop denying people's passion for the game.
You know what? I'm passionate about a lot of things, but it doesn't excuse certain behaviors.
No, I didn't say it excuse it. I'm just saying you're just passionate.
Sounds like you're making excuses.
An excuse would be if I said they didn't mean it.
You cannot intend the impossible.
That's the different one.
Oh, that's not this one?
No.
I'm in the process of writing an article about that, by the way.
So
About playing by intent and how it's stupid.
I don't know what happened. I was told immediately after the fact because a bystander had to separate the players because they were so heated.
Oh, this one.
So I had to give both players a warning. And
it was round 3.
It was round 3?
Round 3.
So that happened. Day 2. And then I don't think there was anything else. We did have our dinner. A little more subdued this year. But
delicious.
Subdued but delicious.
Mm-hmm.
We got to talk to Spanish
dinner.
Tom.
It was more just a family dinner.
Team family.
Yeah. We had Spanish Tom there, so it was a lot of fun.
Oh, my wife. She's like, I'm gonna be the only woman. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay.
It was us, John, his wife, Jeff, if anyone remembers the Focus Fire podcast. Spanish Tom, also known as Carlos, and my brother. I always forget my brother because he drove us.
I never forget your brother.
Always.
I'm a better brother to your brother than you are.
Probably. Thomas likes coming to LVO every year because he likes how both of us talk to each other during the course of the weekend.
Yeah.
Because if you guys if you guys want some side entertainment, you can just sit near the judges' table and watch me and my brother interact with each other.
It's true.
It's pretty
because
comical.
it is unfiltered because we always act like that. And so.
I mean, you're brothers. You have the right to do that.
Yeah. So we had our dinner, which was nice. Saturday rolls around, and everything was fine.
Until...
For the most part. Well, there were two things. I'll talk about what John wants to talk about first, and I'll talk about the other one.
That's right. We'll talk about what I want.
We did have an issue with players.
Talk about my needs.
Players in round 6. Yeah, both of these were in round 6.
Yeah.
In round 6.
Round 6 is wild.
And these are all like the XOs and X1s because at this point it's top 16, and we weren't sure if an X1 was going to make it in. So all the X1s were still fighting what they thought was for a spot.
Well,
yeah. So we had to go to one of the tables because there was a dispute about intent. There were two things. Yeah. There were two things at issue. One was the fact that one player agreed to the intent and then backed out on it. Essentially, they basically Tony'd, if everyone remembers that.
I remember.
Where they agreed and then they said, well, they didn't agree. But the player was trying to hide a model.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
When I saw the model, even the back end of the model was sticking out about 3-4 inches.
Right.
And when he asked if he could adjust it so it would be closer to what he was intending, his opponent said no, which is within his rights.
Also because, and I'm going to say it again, you cannot intend to do the impossible.
You cannot intend to break the game.
So what John is talking about is what happened is the second part of the issue with the other player is the fact they tried to hide a model behind stacked crates that there's no way you can hide that model, not even close.
Impossible. You can't say I intend to do this thing that I literally it would be impossible for me to do. I mean, if we're gonna do that, well, I intend to roll all sixes. I didn't roll all sixes. Well, I intended to, so I get to.
Yeah, the funniest story and the best example of it is probably one of the judges who wasn't there, but he normally judges with us, where he had a Mortarion in the middle of the objective, and his opponent wanted him basically moving these Harlequins up onto the objective, but they're still going to be outside of heroic intervention range, which is literally impossible, just because of the size of the base of Mortarion and the range of the in order to hold an objective. So it's that kind of mentality that if you can't do it, there's no way you can intend it. Use intention.
Yeah.
So
you can't
there are two things
intend
clashing.
to do the impossible.
We did have to and I didn't and I also found out after the fact, about a half hour later, that the one opponent did actually agree and then reneged on it, but I didn't find out till it was already resolved.
But also, that's immaterial.
It is
Because as a judge,
because
I would walk up to that table and be like, "You guys agreed that this could happen?" Yes. No, because it's not possible.
right. But the initial reason we were there is because of that action.
Right.
Because I don't know if the player that was trying to hide that vehicle had done it in previous games, and we were already in round 6.
I mean, I don't care if he did it in previous games.
Well, that's what I mean. So now, if someone had told us earlier about, or didn't agree, or maybe had questions about whether it could hide, we could have seen it before and maybe had.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But
the only reason we were there was because of what the first player did in reneging on the agreed intent at the time.
I mean, I get it.
So
like
it's almost
maybe he
like-
shouldn't have agreed to something he didn't. But maybe he didn't think it was possible. Maybe I don't know. Who knows what was going on? I think that the way if it had all played out the way you're saying, right, where like you walk up to the table,
right,
and it's this person said this. Well, that's not possible, so I don't want to go by it. I'd say fine. You're right. You can't hide that anywhere on this table. Period. End of story.
Right.
For the rest of the game. Or the rest of the tournament, really. There's no terrain at this tournament that model can legitimately hide behind. But your opponent may not shoot it this turn. But we didn't know all the facts. Because they were not supplied
until
to us.
after, because we weren't told until after. That's the part of the problem, too.
Right.
And it was round 6, so the rest of the game was...
Yeah.
Because once he was told he couldn't do that, John, the player just conceded.
Yeah, I know, he quit. Yeah.
So
I know.
Tom, you ever come into something like that?
You ever try to do the impossible and were told no and got mad?
It's not that it's more like a where to start.
Or the opposite. Where someone tried to do something that normally they couldn't be able to do, and they try to intend their way into doing it.
The best example I can ever think of is one time I was in college and a buddy of we were talking about like Halloween costumes or whatever for like some party we were going to, and buddy I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool to do a Dead Space costume, like Isaac Clarke, and a buddy of mine at the breakfast table was like, dude, you're never gonna do that. I got so pissed.
Nah.
I got real fucking pissed. And so what I ended up doing, I worked in the maintenance crew. I found a bunch of old gear that no one was using. We had to spend our budget every month, otherwise we'd lose our budget, and that was my job, was to make sure we didn't lose our budget.
Right.
So I bought myself a welding helmet and reconfigured it, made a whole Isaac Clarke Dead Space costume for and did it. I actually had straight up like an old airsoft gun that I rigged with a propane tank, so it was a flamethrower.
Nice.
Which I had to tell the people at the party, like, don't worry, I didn't put a projectile element. It's just a huge lighter for my cigarette. That's all. If I put a projectile element, it would go here.
Amazing.
You know,
I do like that.
that's one time.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, it's a fun story.
So that happened, In addition, I forgot this one too. Oh my god! At the beginning of day 2, we come to find out that a player did not upload their list, but uploaded a meme instead, and we didn't find out till day 2.
Wasn't me. I wasn't playing.
And they were undefeated.
Something.
So I mean, that guy's just an absolute Chad, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. What a legend.
Well, a
Fucking absolute
Chad minus 30 points. So
Legendary.
we ended up penalizing him 30 points we ended up penalizing him 30 points.
How dare you penalize somebody for being
into
a
game 4.
legend to the community?
Well, he lost, and I don't know why. He lost that game.
Legends, because he already won. That's the thing.
He already won a life, bro.
Sure.
Memes are life.
Sure.
You just don't know because you're
That's
not
what
cool.
I keep telling yourself, Joe.
You don't know.
That's fine.
You don't know nothing about memes. You don't know this meme life.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. It was a Tau player,
Oh, god damn it.
so
Well, now this story sucks. Now I'm mad.
I mean, I'm a Tau player. I thought this guy was like rolling deep with Death Watch or some bullshit.
Yeah, I thought this was a good story. Is it a Tau story? Tau stories aren't good stories.
no.
Man, was it a weeaboo meme? Oh.
I think Danny's the one that had to deal with it.
the depths of my disappointment are immeasurable.
My hopes have been dashed and my day is immeasurably ruined.
Yes. Indeed, sir. Indeed.
So if you are gonna post a meme for your army list, make sure you put an actual army list before the.
And make
before
sure
the
you're not
tournament
playing
starts. Or at least
Tau.
don't. Or at least don't win with it, because he was 3-0, and that's the only reason. And his opponent was checking his list.
Right.
So I forgot that. I did say, who did I talk to? Then I talked to a player that was very aggro, and you know this one, John,
Mm-hmm.
with everyone, whether it was opponents, the judges, probably the wait staff.
It's fine.
He was just, his passion was on another level.
Sure. And so this is a cautionary tale, because I gotta figure out how to say this diplomatically. Okay, so look, he had a rules thing, right? It wasn't even a rules issue with his opponent. It was literally something I came to the table to discuss something with his opponent, who had a rules question about his own army. Figured it out. I answered it. I was like, "Yeah, no, this is how that works." He was like, "Okay, cool." And then he was like, "Well, then if this is and he's like, get all like worked up, right?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't think that's how that works. Let me look it up." And I know how it's working. I know how it works. Okay, it's fine. Like, I'll look it up. It's okay. I'm standing here. It's not a big deal, dude. Another judge walked up. Because, we help each other. It's fine. That's not a big deal. Nobody's stepping on toes. But he walks up and he's like, "No, that's not how that works." But he didn't look at anything, right? And I'm like, "Well, that's a little weird. Why are you just answering this thing like?" I mean, maybe he just knows more than me, sure. But the guy was like, "No, I know. This is my army. I know this. I know that this is how this works. I know more than you." And he said, "I know more than you," to the guy. And I guess the other judge didn't like that. But the other judge, I guess, had dealt with him earlier in the event. And so he's like, "No, that's how it works." And he walked away. "That's my ruling." And the guy's like, "Well, that's not, I want a second opinion, blah, blah, blah." So a third judge walks up.
And you were still there?
Yes, because I wanted to figure this out. I was staying. Right? A third judge walks up.
Right.
Nope, he already made a ruling. That's the ruling. And I'm sitting there going like, guys, what the fuck? Like, part of me is like, okay, like I get it. The judge's ruling is final. Like we have that. But also like, I'm literally here trying to work this out with this. I'm looking it up. Like my phone's out. The app is open. My phone is bright enough. You can see what I'm doing. So like I'm trying to figure out where this guy is talking about in the rules commentary, because he says it's in the rules commentary, right? Like he legitimately tells me where it is. And so these guys walk off and they're kind of in a huff, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I go over to the judges table and they're like, this guy has been doing this all tournament with us. It's always been something. He's super rude. And I'm like, all right. And I look it up and I'm like, yeah, but I think he's right. I'm I'm pretty sure he's right. And they're like, no.
I think
And I'm
that's
like,
when you called me over.
no, this is no. I called you over 25 minutes later. You came back from lunch or dinner, and it was still happening because we went into the chat with Jeremy, who's in Canada. Yes. And I'm like, dude, okay, you're not here. Yeah. So this is a totally unbiased thing for you.
Lunch, apparently.
This is how this works, correct? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. That's how that works. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, so that guy's right. And they're like, okay, fine, but he's not allowed to be rude to us. I'm like, okay, yes. He's not allowed to be rude to us. However, he is right. and I was trying to figure this out with him, and everybody got all worked up. And like we've got to stay calm. You got to work through with somebody. Yeah. And I get it because I've dealt with last year several people like this, one of whom did get kicked out of the tournament. No, they got the red card round loss, not a red card thrown out. They got a red card round loss because they'd played a rule wrong 3 times in a row, and I was like, whatever. But again, I gave him the red card because he played the rule wrong after we told him not to. Right? Right. His demeanor toward me had nothing to do with it. And so I was like, we can't go back and be like, hey, dude, by the way, you were right, but we're giving you a yellow card because you were mean to us. You know? Like, it's just
hearing that
it's just like you know, like I get it. He should be more polite, but he's not from America. He's doesn't have the same. It's not the same culture, and there's a slight language barrier, right? So to overcome, and ultimately, the guy was right, and we as a judge staff were sort of being dismissive of it,
right?
Because we didn't like the attitude. So ultimately, we did the right thing. We told him, yes, you're right. That's how the rules should work. You are correct. However, could you dial it back, buddy?
Yeah, because when we got back is when he asked me to go talk.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm leaving it to you. You're the head judge. Here's what's going on. He's right. Jeremy agrees he's right. But this is the other stuff going on. I'm going to go walk the tables because I'm done with this nonsense.
I didn't know about the other part. The other 2 judges.
Yeah.
Doing that while you were there, which shouldn't happen, to be honest.
I mean, we'd been all weekend walking up to tables and like giving our 2 cents if something was happening, but because of the player in question, it was different in this one instance, and that was kind of that.
Yeah, but I think I would think that at least me personally, I don't just walk up and make to me at least arbitrary decisions with another judge standing there. I would ask what's going on because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't, and whether I've had issues with that player before or not. And as some of you know, and I know John and Danny know, there's players I have issues with, or we have issues with.
Sure.
But when they call us up, we don't auto tell them they're wrong or right or whatever. We actually
you have to be. Is the correct term dispassionate, Danny? Unbiased, dispassionate.
You have to be dispassionate more than anything else. I mean, you have to, you're going to have biases. That's all right. Like, you have to recognize you have them. But you just, at the end of the day, can't have an emotional response to what's happening.
Right.
Whether they're right or wrong doesn't actually matter. Right. Shouldn't matter to your emotional state. All that should matter is what is the correct answer for the situation at hand.
Right. And if you don't like the way a person's acting, then you address that separately.
Yeah. You can absolutely talk to them,
which is what I did.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I had to, when I talked to him, I did tell him it was right, but then I addressed his attitude, and then we did discuss the judges, not yours, John, but I guess the other judges' attitude towards him, and I talked to him about how best to handle that aspect of it. Which is basically, well, come get me.
I mean, ultimately, there are
handle it.
Yeah, ultimately there are like lots of personalities, right? Like, and nobody's perfect.
No,
you just have to. It's all interpersonal stuff, and it's a game played amongst people, so there's going to be interpersonal aspects to it that sometimes don't go right.
Yeah. So, I don't think there was anything else major. BCP worked fine for the most part. It was a little slow for the TOs on the TO end, not on the player end when they wanted to look at their. But on the TO end,
it was pretty slow on the TO end.
So, and from what I understand, that was on the TO end only.
Well, that's good
so
at least.
For the players, it was
good.
It was fine. I did spend like 3 hours inputting people for drops instead of. So that's what I mean when I wasn't walking as much. I was doing that, waiting for the website to load every time. So it was very frustrating that round.
Yeah, it was when like I needed to help somebody find a table, find a whatever, put a score, and I'd be like standing there twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's something that'll just improve in time.
Yeah. We did end up with, I think it was 904 people.
Something like that.
We had around 940 registered, and then about a little over 900 start the round.
Right. But the event did sell out, so y'all people need to show up.
Well, they had the blizzards. That was the thing.
I know.
So, we did have so compared to last year, they both sold out. Last year we had a little over 1,000 registered, but
we had to put people in another room. Remember?
60. Yeah.
Because like everybody showed up, and we're like, oh crap.
Showed up. Yeah, about 960. So so in both cases, it was only a 40% drop between registered and actual. So, we also had the friend, and our hall was all 40K. So it was the friendly, the RTT, the narrative, the 40K doubles was all in that one hall.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I did kind of miss the Age of Sigmar guys.
They were in their own hall because they had almost 400 people.
It's because they're loud and rowdy.
That would have been Sunday night during the awards.
Miss the energy. Oh, they're loud and rowdy during the games too.
Yes.
They're loud and rowdy in general.
They Frontline did have a new thing for LVO where they did have as well as the exhibitor hall, they had people on tables outside in the hallways, just outside of the exhibitor hall, so they could have even more exhibitors and people doing demos, things of that nature.
I mean, you could exhibitor while you're exhibitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also this year we still had the Shadow Round, which is now the top 16. Our very own Richard Cozart.
I explained on Reddit. I explained on Reddit that the Shadow Round's not a Shadow Round anymore, and then the guy who said it goes, "Oh yeah, I get it. It just sounds cooler." And I was like, "That's fair. That's totally fair, dude."
I guess.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, and we allowed people to watch, and it was on stream. And I had set the time so that we would finish by 11 o'clock at the latest, which is when we finished. We started a little late. I think we started like 10, 15 minutes later, just getting everybody rounded up.
Whose fault was that?
That was the player's fault. And
when in doubt.
And but we finished by 11,
Fair.
So it wasn't too bad. Like I said, our own Richard Cozart made it to the top. From our team, made it to top 16. He actually made it to top 8.
Yep, he did.
And then lost a close game in that top 8 round.
What round did he beat Jeff? Or it was 6?
Round 6.
That was rounds like 5 or 6.
It was 6.
Was it 6? And Jeff missed the top 16 by 1.
Right.
Yep.
So.
By 1 point?
No, by one
position.
placing.
He was 17th.
Oof.
Yeah. Yep.
Oof size.
We're actually 18th because one of the top 16 didn't want to continue.
One of the undefeateds dropped. So
Was
unfortunately for the X1s.
What does his name rhyme with Hallen Hernandez?
No. So unfortunately for the X1s, there were enough draws to fill up all those slots.
Okay.
So I think Jeff was the highest X1, which is why he missed out. He barely missed out. But so no, I think it was a draw. So that was Saturday. Sunday, was the champs as well as the Sunday RGT, Long War doubles, and the friendly, which all seemed to go fairly well. With as we mentioned, if you haven't been looking on the internet, Matt Lore won with Necrons.
Deep striking monolith, baby.
And with a deep striking monolith that did not die when it was supposed to.
And 30 immortals, which if you were taking 30 immortals, you may as well not even show up. That's what the internet told me.
My ticket.
The internet told me may as well not show up.
So congratulations to Matt. GW as a prize, I believe, is giving him and I think all the faction winners, but I'm not 100% sure. He gets I believe it's every 40K release for the year.
What? That's pretty sweet.
So,
not gonna lie, pretty sweet.
Yeah. So let me go. So like I mentioned, Matt Lore was in first with Necrons. Folger Piles was in second with Eldar. And that's where you get that.
Which I'm gonna be honest, that sounds like a fake name, but it's not.
It's not. Everyone keeps on asking him about it. He said it's a family name.
Yeah, I'm sure he's super happy about everybody asking that question too.
I imagine he's used to it by now.
Samuel Pope was in third with Tyranids. Daniel Olivas was in fourth with Eldari. Sweet Lou with Votan. Our own Richard Cozart was sixth with Astra Militarum. Seventh was Ben Sherwin with Black Templars. And then eighth was Charlie Andre with Chaos Space Marines. Then we had the award show where we the FLG did the LVO announcements, and Mike Brandt did the ITC winners announcement, as well as the paint competition winners. I'll have more of that posted. I have the winners for almost all the events. Whoever sent me the info, I have all that posted up by Friday. If you're listening to this, we're recording on Thursday, so if you listen to this on podcast, you should already hear it or see it on the Frontline website. They also Frontline also launched their Kickstarter, if you haven't heard already, for their game Blood Throne. So Danny now has a book and a game that he's involved with out there for everybody to purchase, or at least Kickstarter.
Yeah, they had the actual Blood Throne at the event. You could sit in it and take a picture. It was cool.
Yep, and you had Reese back to his roots of hustling, showing the game off to everybody.
Yeah.
Which is fun. That was fun. It's good times.
So yeah. So if you haven't checked it out, just look up Blood Throne on Kickstarter. Easy to find. There's still, I think, 21 days or something like that to go, like 3 weeks to go. So that should be good. They had a cosplay competition, which was really neat.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of them there. I think it was a Fallout cosplay that won.
That dude.
The Nolan Oil should have won.
Yes, the Nolan Oil 100% should have won. What is this nonsense?
It was the only time I had to bark at the entire event, like actually really raise my voice to somebody, and that was because during the second day, and I've seen the guy at LVO plenty.
Did they try to knock her over?
He like put his hands on her costume, like he was going to knock her over, and so just out of instinct, to keep his hands to himself.
Yeah. No, that's it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. So just in general, guys, if you're around
a lot of fun
cosplayers, please don't touch them.
Yeah, hands to yourself.
That's not
hands to yourself. I'm trying to think of what else happened out there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I found a couple vendors that I may peruse and visit now. So, got the high roller package.
Is this a euphemism or no?
For which one? The high roller package or the
no
vendors?
for vendors that you're going to peruse?
Yeah, I never know with you.
There was one that was selling like out of print Games Workshop stuff. like
Oh
books.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
He offered me 200 for my end times, and I'm like, that seems a little low.
He had
Really?
like an
For all the
original
books?
Ultramarines codex. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
I have that. I have one. Those I kept, all the second edition Ultramarine Codex.
I don't keep anything.
But there were
Throw
a
it all
lot
out.
of like. There was a lot of old Black Library, like original Black Library.
Yeah.
I guess first edition Black Library books.
Yeah.
That
I'm a
out of print
purger.
that he had. He had the original Rogue Trader.
Mm-hmm.
So he had all that stuff. Because I asked him if the Rogue Trader was the reprint or if it was the original. He said it was the original, but we'll see. So, and he works mainly on eBay, so I'll just check it out and see what he got. So it was pretty good. There was that one. With a couple. I did have a couple guys from some of the other local clubs go out there to show off their club and the games that they play, things like that. So I know that we're trying. I know Kicker and FLG are trying to make LVO more of a convention.
Isn't it already?
More like a Adepticon as opposed to like a tournament.
Oh. I mean, I kind of feel like
Why we saw
that's
that
what it is.
Yeah, and a couple of the people at Frontline they asked like me and if it did it to me, did it feel more like a convention as opposed to like a 40K tournament with some other side games. And
For
it did.
sure.
You know, there's still some things they need to work on, but you know, slowly but surely they need a bigger space for sure if they want to expand more. Hopefully, I mean, the Rio was fine except for Sunday when the roof started to leak.
What?
Oh yeah, you weren't there.
I was never that.
And that wasn't in just the main hall either. There were
Yikes.
in the vendor hall. The roof was leaking
no.
also. Yes.
That's not good at all.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I walked in there Sunday morning and was like, why is it raining inside?
Oh god.
Ambiance.
Yeah, me and Adam's brother were running around like dragging trash cans or empty beer buckets to like catch the water so it wasn't spilling all over the tables.
That's very not good.
It was not ideal.
No. So so yeah. The room Danny and I had was nice, even though we're only in it for like a couple hours a day or a night.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Danny, any other memories about the weekend that you could remember?
I mean, no, SoCal Danny never really showed up. So,
Boo.
No, not really.
yeah, he was mostly a good boy. No, I like the ramen place inside the Rio. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah, I didn't get ramen because it was busy. I had sushi.
That was the sushi place. I didn't get sushi because it was busy.
Right. Yeah, see, that was the opposite.
Oh, I got the burger.
Did anybody we know try the burrito?
The burger was good.
John Solis
No.
did. He said it was
What did
good.
he say?
He said it was fine.
Oh, okay. Well, he also
didn't
eats
like-
at Taco Lita, so I don't need it. I don't.
Wow.
Believe it's
Wow,
great.
bro.
Sorry.
Straight up hate for your brother.
Watching strays out here. Like, Taco Lita, every do to you.
There's a Facebook
Damn.
page for Taco Lita, so I know my brother's in that Facebook group.
Yikes. What ramen
John,
did you get?
Or it?
I got the regular tonkatsu with extra pork.
You didn't get super spicy?
I didn't trust them to do that right, and they didn't even have ramen eggs, so I just had to get extra pork. Otherwise, I would have ordered like 3 extra eggs in there.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't even have eggs in it, which was like, all your pictures show an egg, yet you don't have any eggs actually in your ramen.
Oh, because I think they ran out.
Didn't they like open it just for us? Because
On
like
Friday, yeah.
yeah, right.
Yes.
The
on
sushi
Friday.
place didn't have
So
any
what
of
I
the beers on
heard-
tap yet. They only had bottles, but they had like the taps
Right.
there, but like they weren't working.
Yes.
Anyway, the Rio has improved, although it did suck on Thursday. The Thursday or Friday when the elevators were down.
Yeah,
That was
Thursday.
Thursday, wasn't it?
when was that?
That was Thursday. Yeah,
Was it Thursday?
first night.
Yeah. when
We were looking
all
for your
four elevators.
medication.
Only
and then
one
we thought it
elevator was working.
upstairs.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah. John, any fond memories of the weekend?
Yeah, a lot. I enjoyed.
You can talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Natalie and I went in early on Wednesday and stayed at the Cosmo, and we went to two speakeasies of the Cosmo, and the second one, the barbershop one, we ran into Stephen Box and three of his Vanguard Tactics guys.
Oh, okay.
That was fun. So we hung out with them for a while, and that was cool. Because Stephen had only ever met Natalie in passing, and I don't normally get to talk to Stephen for too long. Because when I'm judging,
Right.
it's only for a little while. And then we converse online a little bit. So it was kind of cool to hang out with him for a while, and it was neat. That was nice. I think that was probably one of my favorite parts, that and the steak dinner. It was good.
Okay. Yeah. The dinner was fun. Danny and I did get to see a fight in the casino.
That's right.
With a weave snatching and everything.
My lord.
Yes.
My God.
Yes.
It was a good one. Not all so you can say about it.
It was a lot
It was
of
a
fun.
good
So that was LVO 2024. Unfortunately, like we mentioned earlier, Tom could not make it. Tom, do you plan on going next year?
Or
do you
ever.
hope to
Every
go
year.
next year?
I mean, every year I hope I get a chance to go.
What was the excuse this time?
Did you watch any of the stream?
No, I didn't watch any of the stream. There was real no excuse. I just didn't go. I mean, I went to SoCal, so it's kind of hard to justify that. I think part of it too is like if I really had wanted to go, if like I had like budgeted for it and been like, all right, I've got all this set aside so I can go, and it's like no problem. That might have helped things, but just kind of lost track of time, and work's been just murdering me recently.
Okay.
So I think that's been a big part of it too for me. Is I've barely been playing on our regular weeks, let alone at a giant ass tournament. So
Yeah, that's fair.
eventually,
Yeah, next up for me is Cherokee, and the packet should be out hopefully by the end of this week, or early next week, I should say. So we're already at the end of this week. so Cherokee is next up. So that should be fun. In case you haven't noticed, we talked a little bit about the old world. I do have Tomb Kings, but then I realized that I have boxes of conquistadors that I can make the start of an empire army with. So it looks like Tom's playing Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Danny's still with his Bretonians. I was also tempted to just build a Night Goblin army just to fuck with Danny's army.
You would. Well,
Nothing
what's funny
Bretonians
is-
like better than Fanatics.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, it's fine because I was thinking of starting an Orcs and Goblin army too. So I'm like, well, I have one good army. I guess we should have, evil army. Only fair.
I mean, and when
Orcs
you've
and
got
Goblins are
two,
coming.
you should probably just get another 6.
Y'all got problems.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just get the basic or the what do you call it? I could just get the movement tray adapters to put my demons.
Y'all need Jesus.
Oh, your demons on round. Yeah, there's plenty of manufacturers out there that have movement trays where you just put the rounds inside. Yeah.
Yep.
It's an easy.
I could just do that, and then I just need some larger squares for like the bloodthirsters and stuff.
Right.
That'll be the hardest because I think their oval bases are way bigger than their square bases. So I'd actually probably have to rebase
Yeah, I
them
believe so.
and put them on the squares, and then magnetize the square onto the oval, so I can just take them on and off as I need it. But that's not that hard.
No. John, what army are you gonna make?
For Old World,
ASU.
I'm not making any armies for Old World because I don't like Old World. I never really liked Fantasy Battle. And I have zero interest in this whatsoever. You know what I'll do for you guys? I will play a new Total War Warhammer 3 campaign.
Thanks.
No.
That's the hobby equivalent of like hey, this thing that happened out there in the world, it's real bad, guys. Here's my social media posts telling everybody it's real bad. Hashtag this, hashtag
Look,
that.
I was
virtue
asked.
signal, virtue signal. Boom, new profile pic.
I was asked by Adam. I had kept my mouth shut every time he mentioned it. I was not going to shit on anybody's good time. I was not going to say a word. You guys can have your fun with your weird square bases and your ranks and flanks. I wasn't going to say a word. He asked my opinion. If asked, I will.
I didn't ask your opinion. I just said what army you were going to play. You could just said none.
Well, you
And then
opened
went on
Pandora's
a rant.
box, and so Pandora's whatever's inside that box came out. I don't know what's in Pandora's box, but I came out.
It's Tomb Kings and Bretonians.
That's in Pandora's box.
Again,
It's a shitty box.
do we want to do any predictions for the data slate?
No.
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 Oh, I'm sorry. That was my prediction. I'm sorry. I feel like you guys don't want to give a prediction. No is my prediction.
Oh, okay. No data slate.
Right. That's my prediction.
No data slate at all?
That's my prediction.
Oh, God.
I actually don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure everything works out in the end.
Well, according to the Warhammer community, it's supposed to be next week. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I'm sure everything's fine. I'm sure it's a great data slate. I'm sure it answers all of the potential problems we have, including they're going to say that monoliths can now deep strike into engagement range.
Well, that's only fair, right?
As long as they don't touch my Tau.
They're gonna bad touch your
Well,
towels.
you're going to get a new codex, so
What? Why does Tau get a
fairly
codex?
soon.
I imagine Tyranids and Eldar are going to get nerfed.
My
Did-
Tyranids,
Nah.
well, Eldar, but
Why would Tyranids get nerfed?
Yeah, why
They're not even
Tyranids?
good.
They have a relatively high win rate.
Yeah, they came in third.
Okay. But like,
You just
I mean-
have to. We just have to play Endless Swarm.
I mean,
and
sure,
break
they
your
came in
back
third.
over.
All right, fine, whatever. But are they winning events? Are they oppressive in some way?
No, not really.
Then
I don't know. I
you know,
play against
then
them.
leave Brittany alone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
I mean, hey, I don't want my Tyranids messed with.
That's what I'm saying. We should
Hopefully
leave
they continue
Danny's.
to make World Eaters cheaper.
We should leave Danny's army alone.
They should make Carnifexes 80 points.
Make Carnifexes great again. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying right now.
Damn it.
I'm gonna run for president of the United States on the platform of make Carnifexes great again.
you know, it just
Well,
occurred
I
to
always
me
vote.
that
I always vote for myself as a write-in candidate. So
I'm gonna
every
start doing
presidential
that.
election.
I'm gonna
It-
start doing that.
it just occurred to me that you could 40k MAGA by saying make Abaddon great again.
Abaddon's already great.
No,
Yeah, he's
y'all
still
a bunch
pretty
of
good.
y'all a
Not
bunch
as
of
good
heretics
as-
up on
as
this
90s.
podcast. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I do with you people. I don't
Yes.
hang out with you guys.
What are you talking about?
You don't hang out with us anymore.
I was
Bunch
gonna
of
say,
heretics. I just spent like a whole
Yeah.
weekend with you, motherfucker.
Now with your news. Exclusively. Oh my god.
The only one who could claim that I might not
What
hang
have
out
you
with him
done for us
anymore
lately, John?
is Tom.
yep.
And even then, I still go to his house. I just don't play any games. 'Cause I get there, he's like, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't know. I'm tired. Are you tired? Yeah, we're tired. Okay, cool."
Yeah, that's
You
all we
come by
did was
to
literally
basically
just hang
hang
out.
here and see what the hell Adam and I are up to.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, it's you and Alex's upcoming one playing Old
Yep.
World.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually,
I think that's it for this week. We know no predictions. No predictions for the year. We'll see what happens. Cherokee's coming up. Then Rocky Mountain. I'm not going to promise anything. We might have changes to the terrain, but we'll see when you see the packet. So
Sus.
it's ever evolving. So I think we'll call it here.
Cool.
sorry, temporary.
Tom,
Yes.
any last words for tonight?
I hope that the new Tau box doesn't awaken anything in me.
It will.
Crude wise,
It will, because it's all crude.
You want your chicken boys.
I mean, how long has it been
I
since
mean,
there's new Croup
yeah.
models? Since like
But you're looking
1997,
good.
I know. I'm
right?
kind of digging my
It's been a
chicken
while.
boys.
3rd edition when they first came out.
Right, 97, right?
It's been a while.
I think it's like 97. I legit
no,
like I don't know
the-
why, but that's stuck in my craw. I'm pretty sure it's 97.
Well, they came out in third edition.
Yeah.
That would have been 98, I think.
But that was third
I
edition.
don't
98
remember
was the
close.
beginning of third, though, was it?
Yeah, so it might have been like early 2000s, maybe,
Really?
or late 90s. I guess 99. I don't know. It's been a while.
Look, all I know is that there's new Tau models that I don't already own copies of that I could use instead of in paint and build instead of actually sprucing up my existing Tau army to be
True.
in a better standard.
True. I
So-
feel like this is smart business, Tom. This is Excel spreadsheet, Tom speaking.
Can't. I had a joke and it failed.
Can't argue with the logic
All right,
and the
moving
numbers.
on.
I like this
All right.
Tom better than philosophy, Tom.
Oh, wow.
You have to ask yourself, what is Tom, before you can ask for that dichotomy.
God,
What
I
is
hate you.
Tom when
God,
you
I
get
hate you.
when you get down to it?
I hate you so much.
John,
Yeah.
any last words for LVO or the show?
No. Necrons, deep strike those monoliths while you can. Deep strike all the monoliths while you can.
I look forward to your article. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I gotta finish it first.
Danny. Danny.
Go Pegasus Knights.
Go Pegasus Knights.
Lame.
You know, my usual. Play games, be nice to each other. And you know
Alright.
what? If you're going to pick a hill to die on, please make it a sensible one. A respectable one. Not, I don't have to measure.
Not, I don't have to actually engage my opponent in playing this game.
Look, man, different people. have
Not
different
my hill to die on is that I don't want to move this hill.
See, that's appropriate.
Oh, Lord.
That would make sense.
Good times.
Well, again, thank you everybody for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching this or listening to us on the YouTubes. Don't forget to pre-order Danny's book, and don't forget the Blood Throne Kickstarter for Danny. Well, it's not for Danny; it was for FLG, but Danny helped out.
Yeah. He had a hand.
A very big hand.
Yeah, a heavy hand. He was heavy-handed.
So,
Usually,
heavy-handed Danny.
Subtleties
So,
for bitches.
we look forward. we look forward to talking to you in 2 weeks. Hopefully, the data slate will be out, and hopefully, we'll get some new releases. The End of Death is coming out at the end of this week, I believe. So we all look forward to that. I'm sure all of us got a copy when the pre-orders went up.
What?
Indeed.
I'm sure
Wait, when
our
were the
bots were
pre-orders?
hard at work. It was
When did they
last
do
Saturday,
pre-orders?
and then they did it again. I think today or yesterday.
Oh, it's cool. I'll just order one right now. It's fine.
It's fine. There's plenty.
Right?
Oh,
Plenty to go around.
No?
that actually
I don't understand. What are
That
you talking
actually
about?
reminds
Are there literally not any books? How do you not make enough books? They invented the printing press in the 16th century. What are they making them by hand? How do you not got
They
enough
are
books?
a book company. They are a publishing company that happens to make miniatures.
How do they end up with New York Times bestsellers if they can't print enough books?
That's how you become a bestseller, right? You sell out. Isn't that
Break
how it
out another monk in the abbey and make him write it out by hand with the calligraphy. What the hell? Like, are they using the wine press? Is it literally Gutenberg's printing press over there? How do you not print enough books? It's a book.
Well, John, you have to be more patient with them. They're in Nottingham, and the sheriff's been collecting a lot of taxes this season. Okay.
We're going through all the
Oh
references.
my god, I don't get it. It's
All
like
right. Well, again, thank you everybody for listening.
one of the oldest mass production technologies of all time, and you can't get it right.
We'll see everybody in a couple weeks, hopefully with John. If he
Yeah, we'll
doesn't
see.
have a scheduling conflict, which he will.
We'll see.
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.